I know that the infighting on the left is like part and parcel of like necessary growing pains given the amount of shit that we are being confronted with. But we have to remember that while we are sitting and bickering over semantics, not to say that that is not important, not to say that nuance is not important, but while we are bickering over this shit online, real people are being executed. People are being executed in Gaza, in the DRC, in Sudan, in Myanmar, in Papua New Guinea, and in this country. Black people are being executed every day in this country for no reason. The last 3 days in a row, I have woken up to checking my IG feed to see on 3 separate days in a row, 5 different infants without heads. Those are just the children that have been decapitated. That does not account for all the other horrors. We cannot stop applying pressure. We have to apply pressure to Kamala. If you're voting for Kamala, you need to be speaking up about Palestine and all the rest of it consistently. We cannot afford to let her get away with business as usual. The left cannot continue to operate business as usual. And there was a creator on this app, and I find it in my favorites. I will tag them, but they said something to the effect of, this country has no left, it just has leftists. And that just, it's something that like you intuitively know. It's one of those things that like, it's so fucking obvious, but until somebody names it, you're like, oh fuck, they're right. There is no left in this country. It's a bunch of like factions of leftists who just, all we can do is try and correct each other and like, bitch, 5 infants in 3 days that I have seen with my own eyeballs. 5 infants in 3 days with no heads. That is normal now. It's not okay, but it's becoming normal. When you see it every day, it's becoming normalized. Your nervous system is becoming acclimatized to seeing this shit, and it's making it less and less, it's making it more and more difficult to like be activated by it because you're seeing it so often. And while we're all watching Rhaenyra and Alicent serve cunt tonight, which we absolutely need to do as a respite for our nervous systems, more children will be decapitated. And the Democratic nominee, because let's just be serious, she's going to be the Democratic nominee and may very well become the leader of the quote-unquote free world, is gaslighting us still. Gaslighting us into believing what Netanyahu said before Congress, that there have been minimal civilian deaths. Well, we all see with our own eyes a baby without a head every single fucking day. Do not relent. Stay angry. Stay fucking mad. Use your anger. What happens to the least of us is coming for the rest of us. That is history. Point blank, period, end of story. If you need somebody to hold your hand and tell you how those issues are connected to domestic issues, at this point in time, 10 months into a genocide, into multiple genocides, I invite you to fuck off and die. This app is free. Google is free. Books are free at the library. Make a fucking effort. An immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza and full divestment from all things Israel is the only hope that this country has to A, redeem itself, and B, survive.